All right, joining us on the AlwaysMoto podcast this week, he's had a decent injury a couple of rounds back at Arlington. It's the number 97, Devin Harriman. How are we doing, Devin?
Doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. I probably sound like I'm on repeat for the listeners at this point, but it's always a tough time when I get to contact you guys at this stage post-injury and things are a bit rough for you guys, but we always appreciate you making some time for us here on the show.
Absolutely. We all run a crazy schedule, so getting a hold of everybody's not the easiest thing to do nowadays.
No, but like you guys obviously, potentially you're on the couch post-surgery at this point and maybe don't want to talk about these things, but it's nice that you can actually, pass on some information about where you're up to. So obviously everybody knows that you've had the injury, but sometimes you disappear into the abyss in this period while you're rehabbing. And we just like to keep a check on these things and give some information to the fans out there that are wanting to know what's happening with you. So yeah, appreciate your time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, as most of you guys know, I ended up having a compound fracture on my tib and fib a couple weeks ago in Arlington. Yesterday, Sunday, was 3 weeks from post-surgery. So had my 2-week checkup last week and flew back out to Arlington for that. And everything's looking good. In my eyes, and everybody I've showed the photo to, the bone looks like both bones are healing quite well, honestly. They ended up putting a rod through my tib and a screw on the top and 2 screws on the bottom. They hammered that down through my kneecap. So not through my kneecap, but from my knee. And then nothing for the fibula. They said because that's a non-weight bearing thing, it didn't really need too much. Just kind of put everything back into place and let us do its healing. And honestly, from the x-rays that I have, you would have never known it was kind of shattered from the beginning. So
the fibula is usually pretty good. It's like you said, non-weight bearing bone. So it just sort of sorts itself out. It's amazing how that one happens, but the tibia obviously is a different story. So yeah.
Yeah, no, the tibia, like I said, I mean, that was sticking out of the skin and they kind of had to reset that one. So that was a little bit more of a hassle, but the fibula, yeah, like you said, it kind of worked itself back into place. And I think here in, a couple, 2 months, 3 months, or obviously probably a little bit more, the more time, the better, but it's going to look like nothing kind of happened and maybe just a little bit of a break, but no, everything's good. They gave me, they said last week that I could walk 25% weight on it. And
nice.
Then this week's 50. So
that's pretty good. That's early movement, which is nice. How's it feel when you're up and about on it? Does it feel a bit awkward?
Yeah, yes, I've seen your stuff. You're pretty familiar with the medical stuff. I guess I had like a stress blister on the inside of my foot, like kind of right there, right above my heel, or right above my arch. And I have a lot of like just when I stand up and like I'm on it, it just hurts that like right my arches support pretty bad. Like feels like I'm standing on a tennis ball, but like almost feels better than on a tennis ball the whole time. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like I said, everything they gave me 50%. I'm at 50% this week, and next week 75, and the week 4 I'm at 100%. But I mean, you know how us motocross racers are, right? Like we don't listen to the doctors. So
common theme for all of us.
Yeah. So in fact, I don't even know where my crutches are at right now. I don't know if they're downstairs or where they're at. But when I walk to the bathroom or, walk around the house, I kind of don't use the crutches, but I don't, I try to use them as much as possible, but when it's around the house, it's kind of just easier not to, just especially when I'm carrying things. So, honestly, the bones and everything feels really good. It's just the muscles and the tendons and the nerves and everything. That's what's really bothering me.
How's the actual site on the skin where the bone came through? Like obviously for those that don't realize, a compound fracture means that the bone comes out of the skin. So how's that site? Is it all settled down? Because usually it can be a bit sensitive too.
Yeah, no, that's sensitive. It came out right above like the ankle bone, like 3 or 4 inches above that.
Yep.
And it's still like, I don't have a whole lot of feeling there. And I've never done anything down, but like I blew my knee out in 2016 completely. other than that, I've never done anything. I've never broken anything downstairs, so I don't know like how the healing, or I don't know what to do or anything like that, So, yeah, no, the incision where it came out is like kind of raised up a little bit. I'm like, oh man, that's going to leave an ugly scar. And for some reason, I kilo scar pretty bad. Anywhere I've had surgery or had like a pretty bad wound. So that one I think is going to be pretty gnarly, but over time, I think it'll kind of mellow itself out and everything. So,
are you doing anything for the scar management yet? Like, and I'm from a little bit of personal experience as well. I'm obviously moto rider and broken plenty of things myself recently. The scars with that weird keloid formation. Are you doing any like massage on it? One, but two, are you putting any they use like these silicone creams and stuff to pop onto them to help prevent laying down of more scar tissue? Are you doing stuff like that yet, or is it still a bit fresh for that side of things?
No, I mean, I still have those little butterfly things, like the little straps things that they put on after they pull the staples out,
Yeah, bit fresh.
I probably, yeah, it's still a bit fresh. I mean, they just pulled staples out last week. And in my eyes, I thought, I was like, geez, that's pretty early. Because everything's still pretty scabbed over. It's, again, we're 3 weeks out right now. So, no, but I mean, even all my other surgeries and everything, I got a gnarly scar on my arm that looks like a worm's. It literally looks like a worm, and everybody thinks it's surgery, and it's not. It happened on a jet ski. I don't ever do any cream for like scars or anything. I don't care. It's all part of it,
Yeah. Sometimes it just makes it feel a bit nicer when you rub your arm or your leg or wherever it is that it feels a bit flatter, So I've got some rough ones on the belly at the minute from losing a spleen, and it feels a bit odd when it's all raised up. The ones on the other parts of the body, they're nice and flat, and I prefer those ones when I feel them myself.
Yeah, no, I don't care. It's all, like I said, it's all part of it, and at this point, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's part of it. If you're going to do moto, you got to get used to having a scar or two on the body. So yeah,
exactly. Yep. So
now that rod that they've popped into your tibia, and this is a bit of an interesting question because everyone sort of gives me a different response, and I know what I prefer on it. But are they leaving that in for you, or is there a plan to take that out in a couple of months, or what have they said to you about it at this stage?
As far as I know, the rod's staying in.
Okay.
Again, I mean, I was pretty drugged up, obviously, when I was talking to the doctor last, about it. I didn't ask him. There's a couple things I forgot when I had my 2-week checkup. That was one of the questions that I did forget is the rod staying in? Mm-hmm. Along with like, can I get a handicap pass and stuff like that?
Yeah, just for the next 2 weeks, Doc. I just want to be able to get to my meds quicker at the front of the pharmacy.
Yeah, so just stuff like that. I just forgot a couple questions like that, but no, for the part, like I said, I believe that it's staying in. Everything's staying in. All the hardware staying in, which I'm completely okay with. I think in my head, hey, that just makes the bone stronger.
It does to start with. It's just more a case I find with the, like you guys at that more pro level, that you don't have the time to do another surgery once you've basically done your recovery, to then have another surgery to take it out and have another 4 to 6 weeks of rehab again. That you don't sort of tend to have that time, but some people just look at it and go, "Nah, it's coming out." It's got to come out because it might be in the way or something later on. It might sort of shift down, but that's what the locating screws at the top and the bottom are for. But yeah, it's just always interesting to ask that one as to whether you've got an opinion on it straight away or you've been told it's got to come out or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting to hear that from yourself.
Yeah, no, like I said, as of right now, it's going to stay in, and with me being 28 now, I don't have a whole lot of time left. So for me to go waste, like you said, another 4 to 6 weeks of recovering time and therapy, wasting valuable time, so I don't care to do that. I don't care to be laid up. I got ADHD and
do something.
Summer's coming and my jet ski's ready. So
nice.
Yeah, we're we're going to make sure that we can get back, to active as soon as possible.
So on that then, what time frame have they said to you? Like obviously you talked about the weight bearing with the walkings over the, progressing week by week at the moment. But when have they said to you, right, this is when we expect you'll be able to be back at, full capacity sort of thing? Is it 3 months down the track, or what time frame did they give you?
Honestly, I have no idea. You might have a better idea than I do. I've never done anything with my leg or anything like that. So
yeah,
I have no idea. Doctors, obviously, they always say 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks or whatever it is.
Yep.
That's more so kind of to cover their butt on their end.
It definitely is. Yep.
Which I understand. I get it. Everybody's got their own thing to, they got to worry about. So, I don't know. Right now I'm still in Texas. I have my van's going to hopefully be done tomorrow. That ended up breaking down the night after, literally the day I tried to leave the hospital.
Oh no. Good timing.
Yeah. So when that broke down, it went in, and then I came back out for my 2-week checkup, and, I go back to California Saturday, and I should have I got a Dr. Nas all lined up. I'm going to hopefully go see him. Mm-hmm. He's big into motocross. A lot of moto dudes go work with him. He's got a lot of jerseys on the wall and everything like that. Yeah, so he knows
the sport. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. He used to race himself, so he knows what I got going. He knows this is my living, so he's going to give me a lot better of a idea on what my turnaround's going to be. I talked to my trainer, Robbie Rayner. Mm-hmm. He said at 6 to 8 weeks you should be good. So yeah, we'll see.
You should be sort of like at least doing gym and cycling and all that sort of stuff at that 6-8 week mark, and then it's normally 12 is you're fine. You'd be on the bike training, doing normal stuff, but it's all just dependent on how you feel and how everything progresses in the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, because you haven't started fully walking yet. You haven't figured out if there's a different problem once you've fully loaded it yet. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, I got one hell of a pimple right now. So
yeah, it's not exactly fashionable either. So yeah, you want to get rid of that as quick as you can.
Exactly.
Oh, awesome. So what are the plans then if everything goes well, right? And say at 12 weeks, which would be put us basically the end of April. If everything's going well, what's the plans for you with racing? Are we aiming to hit up round 1 of the outdoors, or are we looking somewhere else for the time being? What's the thoughts at this stage with everything for you?
Oh man.
Hard question. Sorry, mate.
I mean, honestly, obviously number one priority is get healthy again, right?
Yes. Yep.
So if the sooner I get healthy, the better off I'm going to be, and the more reasonable answer I could give you. Obviously, goal is, it'd be sick to go do outdoors the first 2 rounds like I did last year, but I didn't have the best of luck this year for Supercross. I just struggled all year. So with me not going to have a whole lot of time on the bike, I don't see that happening, let's look at the calendar really quick.
Yeah.
But 8 weeks puts me, 4, 5, 6, 7, April 17th.
Yeah.
Or April 6th. That's 8 weeks, and that's a month to get ready for outdoors.
There's about 5 weeks at that point because outdoors starts the last weekend in May.
Yeah. And in most people's eyes, that's enough, right? Enough time to get ready and get, and absolutely, but not when you have 0 time on a big bike. I haven't rode a 450, or I don't have a 450. I haven't rode my 350 since I got hurt, right? And I only rode that 3 times beforehand. And it's all new bike. So 23. So it's I have no suspension settings. I have nothing, you know what I mean? I don't, so I have 0 for testing or anything like that. So trying to rush it, I don't think it'd be ideal, coming back from an injury, trying to rush to get ready to go race the first 2 outdoors, where there's 90 dudes. Why would I don't I don't see that feasible for myself to go out there and do that to myself. So I will probably just head back to Cali, relax. I'm going to end up going to, it's called Stagecoach, a big country music festival here in the States.
Oh, nice.
In Southern California. Do that on at the end of April. And then by that time, hopefully be back on a bike and head back up to Washington.
Yep.
And just train some kids and just ride and do some local stuff.
Yeah, right. Oh, well, look, yeah. It's probably a good plan that you're not trying to rush for those first 2 rounds, because that's where things can go a little bit astray if you're trying to put too much pressure on yourself, and leads to the second injury that sort of really definitely ends the season for you. So, yeah, look, don't rush it. Take your time and make sure the leg is 100% before you're doing anything. And obviously that goes with the part, like you're saying, about the bike settings. You don't have any of that stuff. So, make sure you're comfortable before you do it on that side of things too. So.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just, and I've never been a huge outdoor fan. So for me to rush to hurry up to go do something that I don't really care to do, just not the smartest thing. So
no, definitely. Well, look, ideally you just get that leg fully fixed up, and then you can maybe the next time everybody sees you properly and 100% is Supercross in 24. Maybe that's the best bet for you, but see how it all works out, I guess. Or is there even something like, everyone seems to be throwing around World Supercross things at these points in times, but that might be too soon as well. But see how it works out.
I mean, I would love to get on the World Supercross thing, right? But I don't think that's as easy to get on as everybody thinks.
No, it seems like everybody's interested in it this year all of a sudden. So there's probably not as many rides available as there was last year when they were trying to find people. But everybody seems to be bringing up recently.
Yeah, no, like it's and with it being still new, you know what I mean? Like not everybody knows the teams and who's got a team, stuff like that. So it's just hard to get in contact with stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it would be nice, obviously, to get in World Supercross or even any Supercross. Honestly, like I'm down to go race wherever, anywhere. I actually just messaged a Euro team last night, KTM team, about some Australian Supercross stuff. I'd love to get over there and race some Supercross over there.
Just gonna say the Aussie stuff happens in it's October, November. So yeah, you need to hit up a couple of the Aussie teams, mate, and see if you can get it come out here and have a ride. That'd be pretty cool.
I'd be so pumped on that. If I could do that, that'd be sick. I wouldn't care so much about outdoors. I mean, I don't care at all, really. I might do Washougal Nationals just because that's at home, right?
Yeah.
But other
easy,
than that, you probably won't see me at any of them. And honestly, you might not even see me at Washougal just because it costs so much to go racing for such little pay. I mean, you guys, I'm sure most people saw last weekend. Anstey said he got 5th place at the gnarliest outdoor track that we have here in the States.
Yeah.
And he made $1,500. Like, it's just not. He went 5.5 for 1,500. Like that. How does that make any sense, right? So
yeah, it doesn't add up at all. You're definitely better off on the Supercross side of things. And, and if you can travel the world and see something cool at the same time, why not, right?
Exactly. And like I said, I'd love to do something like that. So the opportunity arises, then I'll be there.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, look, you have to check out the Aussie teams, mate. Maybe we can send you a couple of messages after this and tell you which teams to target. But yeah, look, that'd be pretty cool if that works out for you. But look, the main thing is that leg gets healed up, and sounds like you're doing okay at the moment, which is awesome. So it's good time to check in and make sure that things have been going okay. And I'm sure everyone will appreciate hearing from you, because it was a nasty injury that for you that came out of that Arlington round there a couple of weeks ago. So it's good to check in on you, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys reaching out and everything. So
no, all good. Well, look,
it's always good to hop.
Yeah, look, thanks for your time on the AlwaysMoto Podcast, mate.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.